Hey Blue Table fans, Sean here. I've been using a time management system that I've come up with. It's based on something called the Pomodoro system. Pomodoro is Italian for tomato, and the Italian guy that came up with it used a tomato timer like this one, and I read it on Wikipedia, just sort of a summary, and then just came up with what I'm doing, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about. So here's how you do it. You set your timer for 20 minutes, and you start in on your task, and you say it out loud. I'm going to wash the dishes. I'm going to set up my workstation. Whatever it is, you start with a 20-minute, you give yourself 20 minutes to do it. Now, if you're not done in the 20 minutes, the timer goes off, you crank it up to 5 minutes, and you take a break, no matter what. And when that 5 minutes is up, it's best if you leave the room, by the way. Go do something completely different. Just take a break. And it could even be 20 minutes, I'm answering 5 emails, and then you take a 5-minute break, and you say, and on the break you say generally what you're going to do as well. I'm going to eat something. I'm going to mess around on Facebook. And you give yourself 5 minutes. It's okay. Take the 5 minutes. Then the timer goes off. Oop, there it is. So the timer goes off, then you crank it up to 20. And if you didn't finish your original task, you start over again. Even if, let's say you're washing the dishes and you're like 3 minutes from finishing, you still crank it down, take a 5-minute break, come back, crank it all the way to 20, take 3 minutes, and if you're done early on your task, whatever it is, you wind it down, you get the buzzer, and then you crank it back up to 5 minutes for a break. Now, if you do 4 of these cycles and you haven't finished the task, or you just feel like it, crank it back up to 20 minutes, but this time take a 20-minute break. Go close your eyes, get something to eat, whatever it is. Now, what I found is this breaks up the normal routine. That it's done on 20 minutes and 5 minutes breaks away from the normal hourly thing that you've been accustomed to your whole life. This also makes you aware of the time that's being spent on certain things. And it also prevents tasks from becoming open-ended, from sort of just filling the space. It's like, well, I'm going to, so for example, for me, I might say, I'm going to pack 4 packages. So when I packed 3 and I'm not done yet, I realize, oh, it takes me this long to actually do this task. So this is very helpful in just getting a sense of having a perception of time. How long does it really take to do all of these things? Now, this might not be for everybody. Certainly if you have like a regular job, you might not be able to carry around a tomato timer and be winding it all day. But for somebody that has to manage their own time, this can be extremely helpful. And what's interesting, my personal discovery with it, is that by taking those short little 5-minute breaks and making myself do it, I find that I'm relaxed. I don't feel like I'm getting whipped to death. That those little short, just sitting down, I'll just read for 5 minutes. In fact, what I ended up doing is I set up a little station in the living room with some books and, like water. And I just ended up, and I really started enjoying those very small snippets of time. And it's made me very aware of how long does it actually take to do things. And when it's the evening time and you set your tomato timer aside, I found that it was just very relaxing. I'm like, oh, the timer's gone. And it seems like this really long space of time. And so that's it. I found it very helpful in managing, not just managing, but becoming aware of my time. And the other thing is I started using it in my role-playing sessions too. So, but not the same way with 20 minutes, 5 minutes. I would crank it to 5 and I'd say, okay, group, you have 5 minutes to do all of your actions. And there was this sense of urgency. And then I would crank it on myself. Oh, there it goes. I would crank it on myself and say, I'm going to do all the monsters and non-player characters, and I'm going to do them in 5 minutes. Now, if the timer goes off, it gives that sense of urgency, knowing that that buzzer could go off. And at first, it would startle me a little. I'd be, well, whoa, there's the buzzer, and because I was really into what I was doing. So it makes the day go pretty fast. All right, so there it is, tomato timer. Oh, also, there's different types of timers. They're all pretty expensive. I have picked mine up off eBay. This is a little pineapple guy. I managed to break him somehow, but he's pretty cool. So get the timer that appeals to you the most.